I just got off of work. Yes, that's what I'm doing. And I got off a little earlier than expected. So I'm thinking I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get a little fill. I have Gel X on right now. But I'm going to get that done in like an hour, a little over an hour. And I'm feeling like maybe I just go like sit at a coffee shop, which like I don't really want to go to a coffee shop. What I really want to do is I want to go get a peach milkshake from Chick-fil-A because it's peach milkshake season and I really want to capitalize on it. And I do kind of want like a post-work snack. So I think that is what I'm going to end up doing. I know I've been starting these videos with spinning the wheel, but I am obviously not doing that this week. I am going to be spinning the wheel. Let me just clarify. I am going to be spinning the wheel, but I'm going to be doing that once I get home later. Anyway, I need to turn on the air conditioning and let's get driving a little bit. Hold on a second. Okay, we're driving now. Sorry if the air conditioner is a little loud, but it is summer in the South. Anyway, so for my mood read this week, I randomly picked up The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. Was featured in my little mini haul in last week's vlog. And so I decided to start reading that because one of Jeanette's prompts for Christian Fiction Bingo this month is a book with summer in the title. And this is a book that I have heard a couple of other booktubers talk about, more in the sense of they want to read it. I have heard some say that they have read it. Anyway, basically I heard about it enough that when I saw it, I was like, yeah, it feels like a good enough gamble. So I started reading that. I do think I'm going to finish it pretty quickly because I was flying through the first couple of chapters while I was reading it at work. And I'm really, like, I'm hooked so far. Like, it's happening. So basically, we open on Kelsey, and Kelsey has just gotten in a really bad car accident. She was a pedestrian on the sidewalk and a car literally ran into her, and she wakes up in the hospital with a concussion, but all she can think about is getting back to work. And as she's in the hospital, she's starting to realize that maybe she's consumed by work too much. Like maybe she's spending too much of her life dedicated to moving up in a job that she doesn't even really like. And part of this is brought on by interactions with her like hospital roommate, who is a famous businesswoman, Georgina Tate. Obviously this is a fake famous businesswoman, but famous in this book universe. And Georgina is there because she is dying of kidney failure. And basically through some interactions they have in the hospital, not Courtney. Courtney is the author. Kelsey is basically like, oh, maybe I don't want to be like Georgina. And Georgina, in a very like snippy, snide way, is like, yeah, you don't want to be like me, girl. So Kelsey gets out of the hospital. Literally all of this is happening in the first 50 pages, but Kelsey is realizing like, I need to start saying yes to things besides work. So she goes back to the hospital and is like, Georgina, we're going to have a summer of yes, and we're going to say yes to all of the things in our life that we have said no to for so long. And Georgina's like, okay, girl, whatever. And that's kind of where I left off. But obviously I know that she's going to eventually say yes, and they're going to go on this adventure, and that is the purpose of the book. And I think it's really fun. The book, I didn't think it was a romance. Like, I knew it wasn't, but I thought maybe there was a hint of romance. I don't think there's going to be much. We'll see. But I would be happy with that. I really would. So anyway, that's the book I've started, The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. When I get home later, I'll do my TBR wheel and see what that pick will be. But until then, let's go get a peach milkshake and read. That sounds so lovely. I can't wait. All right, we are here for the spinning of the wheel. I had such a good peach milkshake and fries earlier. So amazing. Also, here are my nails. I just went with a pink. I don't even know if you can see the like little flowers on my ring finger, but I've been wanting pink nails. So I'm glad I got them back. I feel like myself with some pink nails. Anyway, on to what we are here for. Let's spin the wheel for week 4 pick. Yeah, week 4 of the TBR reboot. And I really don't know what I'm feeling, because like the Summer of Yes was totally out of left field for me. So I honestly have no idea like what this might pick. Okay, I need to stop talking. I need to just like have it pick. All right. What does it say? Okay. Head in the Clouds. Oh, okay. This is one of the few books that I don't physically own. So that means that I get to purchase it really quickly. Okay, so I ended up just going and buying it off of Pingo Books because I knew that there were some people who were selling it on there. Like I had looked it up a couple weeks ago, and I had some money from some book sales. So technically didn't spend anything. I don't know when it's gonna come in because sellers have up to 3 days to ship. So honestly, probably would have been better if I had just bought it off of Amazon, but we'll see. If it's not here by like Wednesday or Thursday, then I'll probably just respin and I'll have Head in the Clouds be my wheel pick for next week, which is probably what's going to end up happening, but we'll just do a little reverse. Anyway, I did purchase it. I am very excited to read Head in the Clouds. I feel like everybody has been talking about it, and it's made such a resurgence in Christian booktube. Well, I don't even know if it had a moment before, but it's having its moment right now, and I want to hop on the train. So, so excited. All right, we did the wheel pick. We will chat more later.
Hey y'all, it's been a couple of days. I can't remember how many days. Sorry, I need to like lock in. I was watching YouTube and also like hardcore planning out when I'm going to film videos and stuff. So I've been kind of like just in work mode, you know? And I'm like a little out of it. So I need to get back into it. But anyway, I'm taking some of the advice from my last video. Jeanette commented and like she told me like how she plans out her videos and stuff, and I was like, that's really helpful. So I'm gonna try that and try and stay on top of my channel. If you're new to this conversation, last week's vlog I basically had a cry for help, in which I was like, guys, how do we stay on top of our YouTube channels while also working full time, and also in my case getting married in the next few months, planning my own wedding, and planning to move in the next few months. So it's just a lot is rattling around in my brain, and I'm still figuring out how to like stay on top of adult life, and it's a little difficult sometimes, but we're working on it. And I love YouTube, I love booktube, so obviously trying to stay on top of that as well. Anyway, that was a side tangent. The Summer of Yes, I've still been reading it. I am a little over halfway through it now. It's okay. It's not like the best thing I've ever read. I'd say like, I feel like you need to hold it up. I'd say it's like, it's 3-star energy. There are some things that are annoying me for sure. But we also have to remember, because I know people love this type of stuff, and I know people love Courtney Walsh. So let's just remember that I don't always enjoy contemporary. It's not my most favorite. And yeah, I think that's just the biggest thing, is I don't like, on my like ranking of genres, contemporary is not very high. That set aside, I am getting through it quickly because it's easy. Like the writing style is super easy to just click through, and the chapters are short, and the chapters kind of bleed into each other in the sense of like, you finish one chapter and you're like, oh, I immediately want to go into the next one because it has to do with the previous one. So I like that. that aspect of it is it's keeping the flow going well. The things that are annoying me, basically, I feel like Kelsey, the girl who got in the accident, basically I just feel like Kelsey has spent a lot of time telling others and telling herself that like the car accident she got into is not, like, yes, it's inciting all of this change in her, and it's causing her to think about her life and consider it differently, and she's like, oh, I'm not, but she's telling people like, oh, I'm not having like a pre-midlife crisis, but she basically is. Like, that's what's happening. And I'm like, why are we spending so much effort defending why you're doing what you're doing, or like what is happening in your life? Just like, yes, like you almost died. It's okay to have a wake-up call and have a little life crisis, like midlife or whatever. Like, it's okay to have a little existential awareness and motivation to change your life once you almost get in a car accident and almost die. Not almost, she got in a car accident and almost died. So I just don't like that aspect of it. She's also she can be prideful at times, and like she forces Georgina to just go along with a lot of things and is like, this is good for you, I know what we're doing, like this is gonna help you. And it's like, girl, you barely know her. Like, I do feel like she is forcing Georgina to do things that are outside of Georgina's comfort zone, and I'm like, I understand why, and it's making for a good plot, but like at the end of the day, this book could never actually happen because Georgina would have taken out a restraining order against Kelsey if this was real life. Like, I'm low-key surprised she didn't already. That's not a huge annoyance for me. It's more just like, why are you forcing this lady to go along with your plan? Okay, the biggest annoying thing, there is now a love interest, and I'm not going to say who it is because it's like the love interest basically gets introduced halfway into the book. Not halfway, like 30 to 40% into the book, and now we've had him in the last multiple chapters. Literally, when I tell you, it's the most cheesy love at first sight nonsense I've ever read. Mind you, Kelsey is 32. No, she's 31. She's 31 or 32. She's in her early 30s. Why is she acting like a teenager who just saw a picture of a guy's abs for the first time? Girl, what in the world? She's literally like drooling over this man. And I personally, I understand physical attraction. Like, that has to be a part of romance. But like, why is it the first and like only? No, it's not the only. She likes his personality too. But like, that was the first thing, was just like physical attraction. And I don't think that's reflective of real life, personally. As someone who's in a committed relationship, like, I definitely think my fiance is attractive, 100%. But like, that is not the like number one thing that drew me to him. I was like, honestly, it's not even the first thing that drew me to him. Like, his personality, our ability to have good conversations, like the way we communicated with each other, those were the things that like made me like him. Him being cute was like at the cherry on top, you know? It was a nice extra bonus. I just don't like her talking, like her zeroing in on like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, and then being like, and he's nice to talk to. So that's just kind of annoying me, and I don't love it. It's okay. I'm still like enjoying it enough that I'm gonna keep reading it, but I don't see it getting too much better. Anyway, I've literally yapped so long about this now, so I am gonna go, and hopefully, honestly, I hope I just can like finish this today.
Okay, so as I anticipated, my order of Head in the Clouds is not going to be here until Monday, and I have finished the Summer of Yes, so I'm gonna make up my own rules for my own TBR game and just say that that roll that I did will count for next week's roll, and I'll do, or spin, not roll, spin, and then I'll do a new one for this week's pre-picked or TBR wheel book. But I have finished The Summer of Yes, as previously mentioned, and once I got about 3/4 of the way through it, and I basically just accepted the fact that this was going to be cheesy, or not necessarily cheesy, this was going to be a story that tied itself up in a neat little bow, and things were going to go the way that they needed to go so that everything would pan out properly. And once I accepted that fact, it got easier to swallow. It did also help that Kelsey stopped pining over the love interest so physically. They started having more conversations, and she really did get to know his personality and the way he comforted her and was there for her and just related to her in lots of different ways. And that's what kept her attracted to him and deepened their initial spark. And so I did appreciate that. I just did not like those scenes. I will say this is a spoiler for the end, but it is something as a Christian that you might want to listen to. So by the end of the book, Kelsey's life has completely changed, and she decides to move where she's living from New York City to where this guy is living. And to me, it seemed open-ended whether or not she moved in with him. And also at one point he goes and visits her in New York City, and he stayed at her apartment just on her couch, which is fine. It, like, in and of itself, it's fine. They did not sleep in the same bed, but I do think it's playing with fire a little bit, like in real life. And that he even said, he was like, oh, I'll get a hotel room, and she was like, no, it's fine. It's not fine for me, but nothing happened. So just at the end, it was, to me, it was not clear whether or not she got her own place or they moved in together. I'm guessing, knowing Courtney Walsh is a Christian, the implication is that she got her own place, but I'm not entirely sure. So just a little unclear, and I didn't like that. I wish the lines had been drawn in the sand more firmly. But besides that, definite 3-star, good summer read, fun. I liked it. I definitely rolled my eyes at some parts, but for the most part, the good outweighed the bad, and I would recommend for just a fun mix of romance and like inspiring fiction. Okay, we have the wheel pulled up. Let's try this again for this week. Oh. I feel like it's always landing on blue ones. Like, I feel like almost every spin has been a blue one. The way it should be. Ooh, okay, that's another contemporary. This one is The Way It Should Be by Christian Suzann Nelson. Have I read something else by her? No, I haven't. What's her name? Chantel. Chantel loves this author, and she's talked about this book a fair amount, which is why I put it on my TBR. I know this book has to deal with foster care, and that is something I would love to be a foster parent one day. So that's a very broad overview of the plot. This is another contemporary. I know I already said that, but okay. Maybe the Lord wants me to read more contemporary. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump into this one next. I'm very excited about it. Hey, y'all. It is Friday, which means it is my day off. Yay. So I went and was like at the pool and was tanning for a little bit. And I started The Way It Should Be. And I'm 50 pages through, and I like it. I think it's going to be deep, and it's probably gonna hurt me, is the vibes I'm getting so far. Basically, within the first 50 pages, we've met two, what I'm assuming are gonna be our main characters. We've met Zara, and she literally just got married like 9 days ago. Sorry, y'all are shaking all over the place. But she just got married 9 days ago, and she got her DNA tested, and she found out that she carries the gene for Hunter's disease or Hunter's syndrome. I can't remember I think it's syndrome. Anyway, so basically if she and her new husband have a boy, that boy has a 50% chance of having Hunter's syndrome, and that is what killed her younger brother. So she's kind of like, oh my gosh, my new husband is like, what if he leaves me? And he's like, of course I'm not gonna leave you, like I'm gonna love you no matter what. Which was like, I was like, duh, why are we even questioning that? Also, I think for me, I've wanted to adopt for so long. Like, it's always been something I've wanted to do when my fiance and I decide to have children one day. So for me, I was just like, well, why are we not considering adoption like right away? I understand biological pregnancy and childbirth is like, that's a massive dream for a lot of people, and like I would like to have a biological child too, but I would like to have adoptive children just as much. So anyway, I was just, for me, I think because my head has always been in that place, I was like, okay, why is this like the end of the world? I really hope that didn't come across as insensitive. Anyway, then the other perspective is Tiff. Tiff is a 50-year-old woman whose daughter has gone missing. I can't tell if the daughter is just missing, or if she's also died from a drug overdose, but she is not in Tiff's life. And so Tiff spends her nights going and taking care of the homeless and drug addicted and poverty stricken sector of her city. And her husband does not like this. Her husband and her son don't like that she does this, but it's how she copes with her daughter's absence. And within the first 2 chapters of us meeting Tiff, the reader meeting Tiff, Tiff comes across Zara's twin sister, Eve. We know this, it's been established, that Zara has a twin sister named Eve who is a drug addict. So Tiff runs into Eve and basically rescues her from her abusive boyfriend after her abusive boyfriend has like beat her up and basically left her to die. So that's basically where I'm at. Can we tell it's gonna be a lot already? Yeah, me too. Anyway, eager to see where it goes. But I was getting really hot. And then I got an email yesterday that said my hold for a book was was ready at the library. So I finally have my hands on Project Hail Mary. I probably should like not hold a book and drive at the same time. That's really dangerous. But I finally have my hands on Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So I will be reading that very soon because, you know, it's going to be due back. But I'll probably wait until after what I'm currently reading. So excited. I literally didn't think I was gonna get it before I moved because there are so many people on the wait list. All right, those are my updates. I'll talk to y'all later. Hey guys, it's been a couple of days. I spent the weekend at one of my good friend's bachelorette parties, and it was such a sweet time. I really enjoyed it. I did not get much reading done. I think I got like maybe 2 chapters, but I have been reading and listening to the audiobook of The Way It Should Be a lot today, since I've come back and just doing chores, doing random things, getting ready for the week ahead. It is Sunday currently, and I am almost halfway through it now, and I really do like this book. Sorry, I'm just seeing the reflection of it. This is not the actual cover. I had to put a piece of tape over it because when I first bought the book, there was a sticker right here, and when I peeled it off, it like pulled some of the cover back and I like taped it back down. Anyway, that's where the reflection is coming from. Back to the actual story of the book. I am really liking it. It's feeling kind of slow, but it's also just like, I think I'm just taking it slowly and processing it slowly because the content is difficult and it's hard. Like pour all of them, pour all of the characters basically. They're all going through a lot. Zara and her new husband have decided to take in Eve's kids that she lost custody of because she was not deemed fit by the state to care for them, and she's currently in a like rehab facility or a detox facility, something like that. I'm really enjoying Zara's POV of just hearing her struggles, and like I feel like I can very easily relate to Zara because she's like a brand new newlywed. That's the definition of newlywed. She's like brand new being married, which is like a stage of life that I'm about to be in, and just like the disruption that her and her husband are facing with taking in the kids it's a lot, and it's like definitely taking a toll on her. And she has some childhood trauma too, that she's like, well, I was trying to like get away from that, and this whole situation is like dragging it back. But it's not a very fast-paced book. Like it's definitely, I feel like it's slow, and I feel like I know Zara pretty well. Tiff, I like her as a character, and I do like, relate is the wrong word, what's the right word, empathize. Yeah, I empathize with her as a character. It's a bit harder for me to actually relate to her because she's a middle-aged woman, but yeah, I like all of them. And then scattered throughout each chapter are journal entries from Eve of her perspective of what all is happening. They're not very long, like they're typically like 2 to 3 paragraphs of just what's going on, and we're kind of getting in her head a little bit of like how hard it is to come off of the drugs, and how badly she wants to be a mom again, and not be a mom again, but just be a mom, but it's so hard to like get over the drugs. So definitely a lot going on emotionally. This story is dense, and I think that's why I'm taking a little longer with it. I'll give y'all another update tomorrow. I don't think I'll finish. I know I'm not probably gonna finish this book tomorrow, but I will end off the vlog tomorrow just because I want to keep them kind of like Sunday to Monday, Monday to Monday, like however it ends up panning out. But yeah, okay, those are my current thoughts on it. Very sad and emotional, and I'm not sure if that's how that's gonna impact the rest of my enjoyment of it. Okay, I feel like this was a little all over the place, but glad I could update y'all. Plot twist, I actually did finish the way it should be. I had a round trip 4-hour drive today. I went to the city that my fiance and I are moving to look for apartments, and we had a really good time. We found 2 options that we want to think about and pray about and consider. Definitely, it's kind of interesting. I'm leaning towards one, he is leaning toward another, but regardless, I had the audiobook for The Way It Should Be out from Hoopla, because I've started listening to audiobooks now, and I had like 3 hours and 45 minutes left on it, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna finish it up on my drive to and from, and I did. I literally just finished it like 2 minutes ago. Wow, what a book. I am blown away, truly. I think I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. I need to sit on it for a minute and think about it. I'll put my final rating on the screen. I don't like to just like immediately gut reaction rate a book. I kind of do like to dwell on it for a second, but I really enjoyed this book. It got my heart. I teared up big time at the end with just some of the things that were happening with the characters. The way the 3 women grew, Eve and Zara, the twins, and then Tiff, who became basically like Eve's kind of almost like stand-in mom, one could say. Wow. Ugh. Man, it definitely confirmed in my heart that like I do want to be a foster parent one day, and I do want to be an adoptive parent one day. Like, just reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I feel like my heart. It was so saddened by it, but also so encouraged of like, it literally takes one good foster parent in a child's life to change them, and to change them and the parent, like parents ideally. Oh, it was so beautiful. I really liked it. very emotional and very hard. The story, I think I mentioned this yesterday, the story was slow. Like, the plot was not fast-paced. It was not a lot of action. There was like no action, to be honest. And very character driven. Like, stuff was not happening unless the characters were doing it. And that's okay. I do think a good story, it depends on the story. For this story, it really worked. It probably would have been a little jarring if there had been added drama on top of all of the just crazy stuff. I mean, the inciting incident in the beginning was Eve being beaten to the point of having to go to the hospital. Oh yeah, huge trigger warnings for this book. Substance abuse, domestic violence, childhood trauma of like basically all sorts, sex work, not on page but referenced to, like alluded to as something that happened in the past. Yeah, obviously like foster care stuff, you know, loss of custody of children, whole bunch of stuff. But like, I feel like that should not be a surprise if you've been listening to me talk about the book for the last couple clips. I recommend it if you want an emotional, sad, gripping read. Brought me to tears for sure. And as I said earlier, I deeply related with Zara, just because I feel like she is in a stage of life that I am in and about to be in, and also her desire to just have a plan and move forward with the plan and not disrupt the plan. And then God is like, it's actually my plan, not your plan. I feel like that's a lesson that I'm constantly learning all the time. So I appreciated reading it in a character too. It's very affirming of like, yeah, this is a thing. It's not just a me thing. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the book. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video here. Let me turn my turn signal off. That's probably really annoying. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you have read either of these books. I can't even remember the first book I read. Oh, The Summer of Yes. That feels like so long ago. Let me know if you've read either of these books, what your thoughts were on them. And yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!